Hello everybody, I'm SnipingIsFun, and in today's video I'm going to be bringing you guys another topic that I have against the PS3 and 360 fanboys that hate against Nintendo, hate against the Wii in general, and even sometimes hate against the DS, or even older consoles. But this video is not going to be directly about their hate towards the system, but more about their opinions on the system and their ways of thinking and how they think their opinions are fact and are real when it's just their opinion. And I've seen this topic talked about online, and I at least somewhere on YouTube and then IGN and whatnot, and I thought, you know what, I want to bring this topic and talk about it. What this topic is about, and I've seen this talked about it in this statement that I'm going to be talking about, and you already would know probably because you've seen the video title on the top, is that PS3 and 360 fanboys are hypocrites when it comes to the Wii shovelware, when they talk about the Wii shovelware. Because these people think the Wii is the only system that's ever had shovelware in some instances. Maybe not all of them, but some of them. When in fact, almost every single system, actually every single system for the most part, has always had the so-called shovelware. The PS3 and 360 have them, the PSP has it, the DS has it, all the systems from last generation, the Game Boy Advance, the Xbox, the PS2, the GameCube, the PS1, the Nintendo 64, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Original, the Super Nintendo, and all the Sega consoles, and even the PC in some instances, and all those little iPhone, iTouch phone games, Apple, whatnot. They all have the so-called shovelware, the developers that don't take their time with their games and just throw them out there for money. And people think it's just the Wii, but the stupid thing about this, and I forgot his name on YouTube, I'll put it in an annotation, but I agree with his comment. He says, whenever these PS3 360 fanboys talk about their games compared to the Wii games, they always take their best games and they always compare it against the bad games on the Wii, when they should be comparing the good games to all the great games on the Wii as well, like the Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, the Monster Hunter Tri, Mario Galaxies 1 and 2, Sin and Punishment 2, No More Heroes 1, No More Heroes 2, Red Steel 2, Mario Kart, Punch-Out, the list goes on. Those games. The great games for the Wii, and even comparing their future game to the future games on the Wii, like NBA Jam, GoldenEye, Epic Mickey, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Kirby's Epic Yarn, and those great games. But yet they take, let's compare God of War or Halo to Cooking Mama or Party Babies or the Pets games, or all the little other mini-game collections, and they find nothing wrong about that. If you're going to compare your good games, compare it to the Wii's good games, and if you want to compare your bad games, then you can compare it to the bad games. You can't switch it around, because that's their way, and I agree with him, he said this specific comment, it's their way of making them feel better, of making them feel superior, when in fact, no gamers should feel superior to their gamers. They should feel equal. It's not like, because you play this certain way, it makes you better than a certain other person. It's not. Everyone's a gamer differently. And I agree with that comment for the most part. Yes, I do. Not 100%, but I agree with it, sort of. But yet these guys talk, and the bad thing about that is that's all they talk about when it comes to the Wii. And they talk about their games, and they're hypocrites because they say that's all the Wii has, and that makes the Wii bad. But yet another gaming system, the PS2, and I'm going to have just as much probably, and I'm not going to go into their system, I'm specifically going to be talking about the PS2 here. The PS2 had those Dora the Explorer games, it had those, even in the PS1, had like those Elmo games and Big Bird games, it had those games that were so-called kiddie, it had the games that were rushed to the market to appeal to a certain crowd, like so-called casual. It has those types of games that aren't that well done, and like, Dora the Explorer, the learning games, all the so-called kiddie cartoonish games and stuff like that. The PS2 had them, the PS1 had them, all the systems have had them. But yet when it comes to the Wii, that's supposedly what every single game has. When I look at it, I don't see Tatsunoko vs. Capcom and like Tatsunoko vs. Monster Hunter Tri and stuff like that as shovelware. Those are some great franchises. Tatsunoko vs. Capcom is the next version of the versus Capcom series that the Wii gets, and eventually we might end up seeing a second one or something else from the versus series on the Wii eventually. And Monster Hunter Tri is the next in the series of the Monster Hunter game, and it's a main series game as well. Not like what the PSP gets. The PSP gets like side games or so. This one got number 3. And you know, Mario. And I don't ever see Nintendo games as shovelware because they're always great for the most part. I mean, on rare occasion, like, you know, Star Fox on the GameCube, like other people say and whatnot, they kind of had their downtime, and even Donkey Kong. But they've always been great. All the F-Zero games have always been great. Mario's almost always been great. Zelda's almost always been great. And they're great games. They're not called shovelware. But yet when it comes to the Wii and these fanboys, all they talk about is that. But yet, they're hypocrites because you could say the same thing about the PS2. And I'm just specifying the PS2. I want to see if I can find a game in my collection here if that would probably fit into this. Let's see if I can find one. Let's see. Can I find one here for this? Oh, perfect. I like this game, but I'd have to say it. Okay. It's like, let me pick another game out for here to compare it to. It's like this. Just because the PS2 had this American Idol game, which by most people would be considered shovelware, it means all these games suck. Kingdom Hearts sucks, Metal Gear Solid sucks, NBA Street Volume 3 sucks, Final Fantasy sucks, Dragon Quest 8 sucks, the Tony Hawk series sucks, the SmackDown vs. Raw series sucks, and the original SmackDown. All these fighting games suck, Tekken, which I don't have, but just stating that, I don't have a Tekken anymore. And all this stuff. If you're, it's like this. If you're saying the Wii has games going like this, when it doesn't, it has other games as well. You might as well be specifying it for the PS2, because if you're saying the Wii has only this, okay, the PS2 only has these kind of games. Oh, so these must be shovelware then. I mean, I never knew these games were shovelware, but according to these fanboys, I never knew Metal Gear Solid and Kingdom Hearts would be shovelware. Oh, cool. Now I know the truth. Now I know what games considered shovelware. I never knew the main games like God of War and Halo and like Assassin's Creed and Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil and Legend of Zelda and Mario were all shovelware series. I never knew that. But that's certainly what they're saying. That's certainly what they mean. Because if they're specifying about the Wii, you especially have to say something about the PS2 and the PS1 and everything. Because every system gets shovelware. And in your opinion, based off your statement, that means every game system only has shovelware, which means every game system sucks. And every game, in your opinion, because you say that since the entire set of the Wii is only shovelware, that sucks. But that would, if you're meaning that, you're a hypocrite, because you'd have to say the same thing about this system and every other system. And I'm just saying your statement's flawed, because just like the PS2 and just like all the Super Nintendo and just like the Nintendo 64 and just like the GameCube and just like all the Game Boy Advances and just like the DS and just like all this other stuff, they may get these certain franchises on the Wii, but the Wii does not suck because it's getting all these great games, and in 2010 it looks great. I'm SnipingIsFun. I hope you guys like this little video. Please subscribe, have a nice day, and see you guys later.